think that's it, man. It's very similar. Tao, the way of life, the middle way, huh? There's so many interesting things about Panda that I found out about. I'm finding out about. Yo, big chillin', yeah. Futures trading account. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Shifty is a great person to build with on that in the Discord. Sounds exciting. Been studying for a month. Time to paper trade. Yeah, get those accounts in. Get those reps in the practice account. Now it's time to really put in work. Damn, good stuff. So what's up about pandas, man? Interesting characters, animals. Um, there's some stuff about pandas.
Philosophy of the panda. Hi, have you ever wondered why pandas are so calm and peaceful? They move slowly, but it seems like they know some secret to happiness. They eat bamboo, sleep in trees, and enjoy every moment. What if I
Okay.
told you that you could be just as harmonious and happy as a panda? Today, I'll introduce you to the philosophy of the panda, a simple yet profound wisdom that will help you find balance in life. If you want to learn how to live in harmony with yourself and the world, this video is for you.
That's what I get from the Tao. You can just find witnessing nature, being observing, a natural way of doing things. Now, is that the best way? I think in a lot of cases, yes. Yeah.
Let's go. Lesson
God
1.
created it.
Live slowly but mindfully. Pandas don't rush. They slowly eat bamboo, walk leisurely, and even sleep at their own pace. But there is deep meaning in their slowness. They live mindfully. They don't hurry anywhere. They don't fuss. They just enjoy every moment.
That's great advice, right? Enjoy the moment, go slowly. But here's the thing: growing up, I've always heard how pandas are going extinct, or they were in the verge of extinction. Is it because some of these so-called philosophies that they seem to be living by actually are at odds with the modern world? Let's see.
What about you? Do you often live on autopilot, not noticing how days fly by? Try slowing down. Enjoy the simple things, the taste of food, the warmth of the
The AI never gets those hands right lately.
sun, the sound of rain. Live like a panda, slowly
Look at his
but
foot.
mindfully. Lesson 2. Find your bamboo. Pandas know what they need to be happy. Bamboo, a tree to sleep in, and a little peace. They don't chase after unnecessary things. What about you? Do you
Yeah, it's good to focus on uh, one goal at a time, especially if you're more prone to start something and not complete it because you want to move on to another goal you have. So yeah, I can see that. But we'll see in a minute how some of these ways that the pandas practices maybe aren't to the best of survival in the long run.
You often seek happiness in something bigger? A new car, an expensive phone, or others' approval? But happiness isn't about what you have. It's about what you feel. Find your bamboo, something that brings you joy and fulfillment. It could be
What if it's the crack or the panelverse lives?
a hobby, spending time with loved ones, or simply a moment of silence. Be like a panda. Be content with what truly matters. Lesson
Lightweight, do with thy will.
3. Balance is key. Pandas know how to find balance in everything. They eat, but don't overeat. They sleep, but don't become lazy. They play, but don't forget about what's important.
I think they spend most of their day eating because a lot of that bamboo doesn't have very much nutritional value.
They live in harmony with themselves and nature. What about you? Do you often swing from one extreme to another?
Oh yeah.
Working non-stop or lying on the couch all day? Learn to find balance. All day,
Look at it.
non-stop or lying on the couch all swing from one
Look at this AI. We're doing multitasking. Look at this boy's face and his arms.
extreme to another. Working non-stop or lying on the couch all day? Learn to find balance. Work, but don't forget to rest. Dream, but don't forget to act. Live like a panda, in balance. Lesson 4. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Pandas don't try to be someone else. They don't want to be as fast as cheetahs or as strong as bears. They are just pandas, cute, calm, and a little clumsy. And that's their strength. What about you?
Is that why they are going the way of the dodo bird? Extinct? Because they're just being their cute self.
Do you often compare yourself to others, trying to be someone you're not? The truth is, your strength lies in your uniqueness.
Denise Richards.
Stop chasing after other people's ideals. Be like a panda, proud of who you are. Lesson 5. Enjoy solitude. Pandas love solitude. They can sit in a tree for hours, enjoying the silence and peace. They are not afraid to be alone. What about you? Do you often fear loneliness and try to fill it with noise? Social media, music, conversations? But solitude is an opportunity to hear yourself, to understand your desires and dreams. Learn to be with yourself like a panda. It will make you stronger. Lesson 6. Be kind to yourself and others. Pandas are one of the most peaceful creatures on the planet. They don't fight. They don't get angry. They simply live in harmony with the world. They are kind to themselves and others. What about you? Do you often criticize yourself, get angry over mistakes, or hold grudges against others? But kindness is not weakness. It is strength. Learn to be kind to yourself. Forgive your mistakes and accept others as they are. Be like a panda, kind and peaceful. That's it. The philosophy of the panda is simple yet profound. Live slowly but mindfully. Find your bamboo. Maintain balance. Be yourself. Enjoy solitude and be kind. If you want more inspiring lessons like this, subscribe to my channel. Like this.
You heard me just laughing right now. I know what to say except that yes, be mindfully slow. Be in the moment. I'll add to that. Hmm. Find your bamboo. I guess find what you're passionate about because pandas seem to be passionate about bamboo. Right. Hopefully, it's something healthy that contributes to your purpose in life, which is hopefully making people smile rather than cry. Yeah. Uh, enjoy solitude. Yes. Enjoying solitude is a good thing. Yeah. Thank you for that, crazy mama. What's going on? How's it going? Yeah. hmm Yeah. In fact, hmm, yeah, dude. The life of a panda seems very leisurely, like a man or a woman of leisure, right? But when in terms of evolution, maybe these things that the panda lives by, maybe it's not sustainable. So let's try to overlay. Look at the human beings as a species for a moment. Put aside all the religious differences, quote unquote racial differences, and political differences, and just look at humans a human race, right? Human species. We're putting our zoology caps on right now, and see if some of these things that pandas are doing in terms of surviving, if we can overlay that on what us humans are doing, and see if we can learn from their mistakes. Let's check this out. Why pandas are im- impre- uh, im- impressively bad at evolving or existing even. So let's check this. Let's check this bad boy out.
Get an actual real animal. It's hard to conceive that the incredible forces of evolution that create highly effective, lethal predators would turn one into this. And for all the creationists that are inevitably frothing to write a comment about how this is proof that animals are created and not evolved, why would our Lord Creator create something so terrible? This
Well, that's above some of our pay grades, right? To know why the Most High created what he created. So let's see.
This spherical ball of evolutionary mistakes is clinging to existence. And while this is very sad because they are very cute, they don't necessarily garner a ton of sympathy when you learn just how bad they are at being animals.
Shout out to Crazy Mama's sister. Um, yes. Well, yeah. Shout out to all the loved ones that aren't with us anymore. Yes, and yeah, this is a spirit. This is all like you said. That's her spirit animal. That's her. That's her favorite animal. My mom's was the penguin, but the yeah. So like I said, that's a really good thing you could use too on watching this analysis of the panda, and maybe your sister, God rest her soul, was took on in a human form some of these characteristics on a panel. So see if we can overlay. Yes, I see it's an animal in nature, but see if we can overlay what the panda is doing right and wrong onto what human beings are doing right and wrong as a species, and maybe even as an individual person. Right? And go from there. Crazy Mama with the comment. I love that. Humans instead of our differences. That's it. We're humans. We're humans.
Pandas have evolved to eat a very narrow range of food. A range so narrow, it's basically just one thing: bamboo, a plant
Human beings, yeah, for sure. A lot of us, we do stick to the same diet. Maybe you only go to the same fast food restaurant or type of restaurants only, or even if you go the other way and only eat kale from Whole Foods, and that's just food. But you can take what their appetite, um, what they stick to, and you can even overlay it on food for your thoughts, because your thoughts are some of your greatest food you can eat. Is it nourishing? Are you obsessing on one particular thought form or media or relationship?
that has almost no nutritional value and is full of cyanide. It's so toxic that pretty much all other animals so narrow, it's
She just said it's full of cyanide. Bamboo.
basically just one thing: bamboo, a plant that has almost no nutritional value and is full of cyanide. It's so toxic that pretty much all other animals avoid it. And
You know what? Like, fuck it. I'm gonna use this personally as I'm gonna take bamboo and subs it out for heroin. You can use meth or whatever, crack, or even over food addiction. But we'll say heroin. Think about it. A heroin addict will spend all their day trying to shoot up or trying to get money so they can shoot up, and it's toxic, right? To most people. Most people stay away from that shit.
And it's so nutritionally deficient that they have to spend up to 12 hours a day, almost all of their waking hours, eating enough of it to survive. And for a bear, this makes even less sense. They're members of the Ursidae family, related to grizzly bears, polar bears, and black bears. Every other species in the Ursidae family eats meat, either as
Yeah, and they also travel. Like polar bears are one of the most prolific traveling land animals out there.
omnivores or as obligate carnivores like polar bears. And scientists think that pandas need to eat so much bamboo that in the wild they have to keep their distance from one another to get enough. This means that they can have a hard time finding a mate. This contributes to pandas having an exceedingly low birth rate, which contributes to the fact that they are this close to not existing anymore.
Okay, humans, are you so into your? Are we so into our social media? And when you say social media, it doesn't mean you're Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner posting selfies of yourself. Social media is this even YouTube. You know, it's a form of social media. We're socially engaging with media, either creating it or consuming it. But sometimes we're so into it that you could even have a wife or a husband in the bed right next to you or downstairs or in the other room. But because we're so engrossed in this social media, with our bamboo, we are not even trying to procreate and have a child, you know?
And on top of this uphill battle that they've already created for themselves, they act as if they have absolutely no survival instincts hardwired into their brains. They fall off and get stuck in trees, and just generally act like every day is their first day on Earth. And on top of this, one of their favorite hobbies is poop. An uphill battle that they've already created for themselves, they act as if they have absolutely no survival instincts hardwired into their brains. They fall off and get stuck in trees, and
You get stuck in trees sometimes because we got our head in the clouds.
just generally act like every day is their first day on Earth. And on top of this, one of their favorite hobbies is poop. They poop over 40 times a day, and given the chance, pandas will absolutely cover themselves in horse poop. I'm
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. Are they pooping a lot because they're ingesting so much toxins? As if one, like for example, eats a lot of Taco Bell or McDonald's or processed nuggets from the supermarket, frozen foods, you probably would poop a lot. Yeah. Not necessarily a sign of high metabolism, but more of a fact that your body needs to get rid of what's not serving it. Woo! And that's cyanide. They roll
talking
around in it, huh?
head to toe is poop. They poop over 40 times a day, and given the chance, pandas will absolutely cover themselves in horse poop. I'm talking head to toe, full body immersion. The official term for a group of pandas is an embarrassment of pandas. And even if they are lovable, it sure seems like they are an evolutionary accident that maybe came about just for our amusement.
That's not dirt. There could be poop right there.
But as we all know, immersion.
And an evolutionary accident for our amusement. Is this what human beings were for the Devas, the Archons, the aliens? Amusement?
The official term for a group of pandas is an embarrassment of pandas. And even if they are lovable, it sure seems like they are an evolutionary accident that maybe came about just for our amusement. But as we all know, evolution doesn't work like that. Everything evolves for some reason, but how is being a clumsy idiot beneficial? And why would they evolve to eat the worst thing imaginable? And why are they absolutely obsessed with poop?
The insanely bad biology of humans, the human, featuring NPC the game and panel members. The link is up, my friends.
Giant pandas are herbivorous bears native to the bamboo forests of south central China. And although
Damn, they're from South Central. Okay, we'll overlay that for my folks in South Central. Shout out to Ryan Paris, Harlem 30s. LA. You a panda, man.
they are members of the Ursidae family, they have taken a unique evolutionary path. Around 40 million years ago, the ancestors of bears split away from the other caniform.
Look at that lesser panda. That lesser panda up there on the very right is so cute. It looks like a red raccoon. And you got the raccoon. Yeah. I think the lesser panda is like in Japan. And you got the giant panda. Speckled bear. Sloth bear. Probably slow. Sun bear. The American black bear. Right? We see most of those back home. Then the Asiatic black bear, which is in Taiwan. Very few of them now. The polar bear. I've seen the Asiatic bear at the zoo at Liofo Village. Polar bear, which are epic traveler, and Miss Alexander was saying their livers are very toxic. Toxic. A lot of vitamin A. You know, how many of you have seen the polar bear at the zoo, pacing back and forth on the concrete environment that they put him in? Very troubling to see that. The brown bear.
Then,
The brown bear, huh? Yeah, like a California grizzly bear, almost. Red pandas are adorable, absolutely. Yo, what's going on, Alexandra? Good to see you. Links in the description or in the chat if you're more than welcome to come up and build on the bears. Build a bear. Like that?
23.4 million years ago, the Ursidae family split in two. The genus Ailuropoda was all alone on one branch, and this is what pandas evolved from. All the other bear species evolved on the other side of that branch. And as pandas continued to evolve, they did something truly baffling. They evolved to stop eating meat, transitioning to eating almost exclusively bamboo. Scientists
Okay, try not to look within. Who transitioned to eating not bamboo, but a plant-based diet. A lot of people, London man, did that years ago. I've tried it before, you know, but yeah. So the pandas went to the way of eating vegetables, right, and whatnot, and more importantly, the most toxic plant-based one of the most toxic plant-based materials you can eat, bamboo, which has high levels of cyanide in it. So what if humans, is it in the human's destiny to transition to only vegetables, only plant-based? Were they originally like that? Plant-based only? Or were they omnivores like they are now? Or dare I say, were they just straight carnivores?
Scientists assume this happened between 6 to 7 million years ago. And they make that assumption about the timing because of one adaptation they seemed to have gained that allowed for better bamboo manipulation, a pseudo-thumb. This is like a whole extra weird little thumb. Essentially, one of their wrist bones grew extra large so that it curves in an opposite direction as the other 5 of their fingers. The thumb isn't as widely useful as a human thumb, but it's perfect for grasping bamboo.
So you gotta bend your thumb back. You got one of those panda thumbs, huh?
But at first
For
glance,
gripping.
suddenly adapting to only eat bamboo fundamentally makes no sense. And in most ways, pandas still look like the other bears. They have sharp claws and sharp canines. Even their guts still resemble the gut of other carnivores. When we look at carnivores versus herbivores,
Let's check this out. Herbivores, plant eaters, a very long digestive tract, right? These carnivores have a very small digestive tract, in and out, right? Just like dogs, huh?
herbivores have much shorter and simpler digestive tracts. That's because their high-protein diet requires a lot less digestion time to extract all the nutrients they need.
I don't have Alexandria with comment. I don't have a Panda thumb, but it's grippy. Huh? You can grip those bamboo-like cylinders. Girth. Look within with the comment. I still need my eggs and cheese. Laugh out loud. Yeah, no veganism, huh? You still need that dairy protein.
Herbivores take longer to digest plant foods because there are higher levels of indigestible materials, like cellulose, the main structural molecule in plant cells. It's tough and hard to break down, which is why certain herbivores, like cows, have multiple stomach compartments. They spend
So do giraffes.
a long time digesting so that they can extract as many carbohydrates and other nutrients as possible.
They chewed the cod, as they say, cod, which they eat the grass, for example, the cow and then the giraffe, only to vomit it up again, and then digest it a little bit more, chew it a little bit more to extract nutrients, and only to go into their other stomachs. Giraffes and cows have at least 3 stomachs.
But pandas, surprisingly, have a carnivore gut. They don't have the multi-chambered stomachs of ruminants, so of their nearly 100% diet of bamboo, they can only digest around 20% of it. This means they have to eat a lot of bamboo, up to 35 kilograms per day, which is also why they poop 40 times per day. The food stays in their guts a little longer than most carnivores, but still, this seems wildly inefficient. And not only do pandas have a digestive tract that looks like that of a carnivore, their gut microbes also match the pattern of carnivores. Gut microbiome diversity is highest in herbivores, then omnivores, with carnivores coming in last. You'd think that millions of years of only eating bamboo would introduce a bit of diversity into the panda's gut bacteria, but that's not the case. In fact, once panda cubs are weaned off their mother's milk and transition to eating bamboo, the diversity of their gut bacteria decreased.
Yeah, because that's all they're eating. It's just one thing. At least a herbivore will probably eat different types of plants a little bit more than the panda. And even the omnivore will eat that plus meat.
As the scientists write in their paper on the subject, a carnivorous digestive system fed with a bamboo-dominated diet is not a typical feature of evolution. But as dumb as this seems, there's usually a reason behind long-standing animal adaptations. And in this instance, starting to eat bamboo kind of made sense for pandas, sort of.
Alexandria was a comment, bro. Imagine having a pet panda 40 times a day, having to use the bathroom. Yeah, that panda was gonna have to sleep outside. Jimmy the panda is gonna have to sleep outside, and it's not gonna be outside. It's not gonna be a damn diaper. We ain't changing that. Plus, it's white too. And I don't know if you saw earlier. They like to roll around and poop too. It's a bit much. Alexandria was a comment. It's better left outside because I can't or learn how to use it. Right, but then somebody's gonna dig a hole for the poop though, because sooner or later you're gonna have panda poop everywhere. And I don't know if that panda poop has much. You can get much nutrients out of it for fertilizer, being that it has so much cyanide in its diet. That's too much. Yep, hell no.
Bamboo may be low in energy, but in southern China, when this adaptation came about, it was abundant. Plus, it grows exceptionally quickly. Bamboo is one of the world's fastest growing plants, with one species growing more than 1 meter per day, and reaching its maximum height of 20 meters in just under 2 months. And the highest diversity of species of bamboo is in southern China. And as it so happens, it perfectly overlaps the limited territory that giant pandas exist in, even though they probably lived over a much wider range in the past. Bamboo is such a dominant species that in a bamboo forest, almost no other plant life grows. And not many other animals eat bamboo. So for any animal that can evolve to consume it, Bamboo provides a bounty of food unlike anything else. But it does seem particularly weird for a meat eater to suddenly be okay going from eating delicious succulent meat to poisonous sticks.
Maybe they had like the New World Order in the animal kingdom, Panda style, the World Economic Forum. They had them switch to meat, had a campaign for them to switch from meat to plant-based material.
But scientists think pandas underwent another strange adaptation to make them fine with this. An adaptation that is as weird as it is sad. Around 4.2 million years ago, pandas lost the function of their T1R1 gene, which is what's involved in detecting umami flavors in meat, which are driven by L-glutamate. L-glutamate is an amino acid present in high quantities in protein, so it signals that something is especially full of calories and nutrition. And suddenly, pandas could no longer detect it, which probably made meat a lot less enticing, at least going by flavor. What a curse. Likely at first, pandas just adapted to eat a little bit of bamboo due to its abundance. And then, after a long time, they gradually lost their ability to enjoy meat, and thus lost most of their hunting instincts. They might have still eaten fruit for a while, and even today they'll eat fruit if you give. What a curse. One gene.
I gotta look at this. I can see some social engineers saying like, we need to suppress this gene, this meat-loving gene, to get more people plant-based. Yeah?
Which is what's involved in detecting umami flavors in meat, which are driven by L-glutamate. L-glutamate is an amino acid present in high quantities in protein, so it signals that something is especially full of calories and nutrition. And suddenly, pandas could no longer detect it, which probably made meat a lot less enticing, at least going by flavor. What a curse. Likely at first, pandas just adapted to eat a little bit of bamboo due to its abundance. And then, after a long time, they gradually lost their ability to enjoy meat, and thus lost most of their hunting instincts. They might have still eaten fruit for a while, and even today they'll eat fruit if you give them some, but almost no fruit grows in a bamboo forest. Given all of these factors, some scientists think that pandas were probably eating nothing but bamboo as far back as 2.4 million years. But regardless of when it happened, a carnivore evolving to eat only bamboo is unprecedented evolutionarily speaking. In fact, anything eating only bamboo is kind of unthinkable, because even if there is a bounty of bamboo, it's still toxic. Bamboo is full of cyanide in quantities high enough that eating it raw would kill most mammals. In fact, there have been—
God damn. These pandas are... they're impressive in the sense that they can take punishment, man. Poison, cyanide.
numerous cases of poisoning among humans who accidentally ate raw bamboo or prepared it incorrectly. Other
Oh yeah, we do eat. What about tripping? We do eat bamboo shoots. It's kind of like heart of palm. Well, I think it's the same thing. Like what? Yeah, definitely have eaten bamboo, but it's very refined. We'll say, yeah.
herbivores have a way to detoxify cyanide using an enzyme called mitochondrial rhodonase. Because many plants use cyanide as a defense mechanism, and herbivores encounter it in small doses over their lifetime. But pandas have far less of this detoxification enzyme than normal herbivores. And yet these pandas are consuming up to 66 milligrams of cyanide every day. These pandas are consuming up to 66 milligrams of cyanide every— and yet these—
I like that shot. It's like I like that. It's like a Jabba the Hutt, a cute, I guess, Jabba the Hutt. It looks like, when you look at their face, it looks like there's somebody in that costume.
Pandas are consuming up to 66 milligrams of cyanide every day, close to a fatal dose for humans, and they seem just fine. It might seem like they are too stupid to realize they're supposed to die, but it turns out they actually have a way to get around this poison that's different from the way most herbivores do it. When researchers looked more closely at the panda's gut bacteria, as diverse as it wasn't, they found an abundance of one unique and powerful bacteria, Pseudomonas fluorescens. This bacteria helps degrade cyanide compounds, which seems to completely protect the pandas. Plus, pandas are strategic in what parts of the bamboo they eat. Depending on the species of bamboo and time of year, the pandas may target different parts of the plant to avoid the highest dose of cyanide. This targeted feeding is also the case when it comes to nutrients. In fact, although 99% of the panda's diet is bamboo, a recent study found that they're actually eating the same amount of protein as carnivores. How? Because young bamboo shoots actually have a lot of protein in them, and so do the leaves at certain points in their life cycle.
That has to be the heart of palm. Yeah, when we eat it from some Chinese and Taiwanese food. That's it right there, I think. The bamboo we eat.
And pandas target these to get as much protein as wild cats do. In the end, their bamboo diet is 61% protein energy, 23% carb energy, and 16% fat. This is even reflected in panda milk, which has a higher ratio of protein than the milk of herbivorous mammals. So at first, I'm kind of impressed that pandas found a way to cheat the system and turn a crappy food source into something usable. But this feeling doesn't last long, because even if pandas can technically get enough nutrients out of bamboo, they still have to eat an ungodly amount of it to get enough nutrients, spending pretty much their entire life doing nothing else but gorging on it. To cope with this, their metabolism
Some people are doing that as we speak. They're just eating and eating all day, just sitting there.
has adapted to slow way down, and they can't afford to move around that much. They're fairly sedentary animals trying to hold on to every ounce of energy that they can. And while this is a somewhat effective evolutionary reaction, it doesn't solve all of their problems. The winters in China can be brutally cold, and unlike other bear species that can pack on fat and hibernate for the winter, pandas can't afford to ever stop eating. So they just have to endure it, meaning they have to spend even more energy using thermoregulation to maintain a stable internal temperature.
Damn, they're always out in the field, literally, huh? Reminds me of a shark. It can't stop swimming. It never can stop. Once it stops, it can't breathe, literally. Yeah, these pandas are out in the snow. At least the snow monkeys can go in the hot tub, the geothermal pools of water, the natural spas, and warm up, get cozy. Look at these guys are just out in the field when it's snowing.
Eating bamboo became a positive feedback loop, requiring them to eat more and more bamboo. And it might also explain why they're so clumsy, or at least why they appear to be. Pandas look clumsy in part because they're always looking for the lowest energy way to get around. And sometimes the easiest way to get somewhere is to fall there.
It's a good metaphor. That's the down the panda. What she said. Let's try to break this down. Help me out, chat. Overlay this on a human being. Fuck ups.
Pandas look clumsy in part because they're always looking for the lowest energy way.
Some people look clumsy because they're looking for the lowest energy way
to get around.
Let's see how that looks. Yeah. Well, just to look at a clumsy kid that's growing into their body from puberty. That could be it too. Yeah, they're not used to their body, but what's actually happening is they're trying to get around more efficiently. I need a better example than that.
And sometimes the easiest way to get somewhere is to fall there. And their round shape just lends itself to rolling. Scientists think they might partly do this just for fun. So at this point in the panda story, it seems like they've found a sort of novel way to get enough nutrients, something they don't have to compete with other species for and is readily abundant, which is sort of an evolutionary win as long as they can eat enough of it. But there are still even more problems with this plan. Although they don't have to compete with other species much for bamboo, they still sort of have to compete with each other. And because they need to eat so much of it, each wild panda keeps a large territory to themselves. They live solitary lives, using their sense of smell to avoid each other as best as they can. Male pandas tend to have territories that are around 6.5 square kilometers, while female territories are usually about 4.5 square kilometers. This isn't a problem in itself. They don't seem to mind living solitary lives. However, it becomes a big problem when it's time to mate. Pandas only seek out other pandas in spring for mating. And female pandas have a fertility window of just 2 to 7 days per year.
Damn! Talk about irregular periods. 2 to 17. Wow.
And conception has to be timed exactly. Like, come on, guys, I'm actually just getting annoyed at this point. So when it's getting close to time to mate, pandas leave scent messages for one another by rubbing their scent glands on trees, rocks, and grass, and they just hope that other pandas get the message in time to hike miles over mountainous terrain to mate in the minuscule 2-day window.
Not gonna
If
happen.
they succeed, which they rarely do, female pandas are pregnant for 5 months before giving birth to a tiny cub about 1/800th of their size.
5 months.
Half of panda pregnancies result in twins. Awesome.
Okay.
Except for the weaker of the two cubs is often abandoned. Pandas can typically only care for one infant at a time because the tiny cubs need constant and careful attention. I get that this happens in many animals, but this just seems like yet another way pandas are begging to go extinct. Their evolutionary path is just kind of an impossible one. But what about the poop thing? Could this maybe be the secret to their ongoing survival? Giant pandas in central China's Foping National Nature Reserve have been seen absolutely smearing horse poop all over their
Yeah, you do that on purpose. That's not just rolling around leisurely. This is for a reason.
entire bodies, really focusing on their face and necks. Is this fun? Or is this some other weird adaptation that somehow helps them? Recently, scientists think they made a breakthrough in this horse poop mystery. They noticed that the
Horse
pandas
poop,
seemed
huh?
to do this most when it was cold outside. Could it somehow be a way to keep them warm? Because pandas are fiercely protected, scientists rarely get access to do direct experiments with them. So for this scientific question, the researchers used mice. They covered the mice in the poop compounds of interest and found that poop-treated mice walked on cold surfaces more readily and huddled together for warmth less. And what the researchers realized was that these poop compounds inhibit cold receptors in mice, and also in pandas. Some experts argue that this could be a way for the pandas to endure those brutally cold winters while foregoing hibernation. But while it might be a coping mechanism, it seems like it could be an incredibly bad one. If their bodies no longer feel the sensation of cold, this could prevent them from seeking shelter, and would actually be incredibly dangerous. Because of this, some scientists aren't convinced, and they think the pandas just really like poop for fun. So at best, this behavior is weird and gross, and at worst, it's downright stupid and maybe suicidal. Horse poop is
Also-
probably not the secret sauce to their unlikely ongoing survival.
Oh, it's actually horse poop. I thought it was their own poop. So there's horses in the bamboo forest.
I know I'm kind of joking about all of this, but it really looks like pandas are just simply bad at surviving. It looks like they exploited the environmental niche of bamboo, but at a great cost, basically dooming themselves. Because of all of this, certain simulations make some scientists think that pandas have been on the decline for thousands of years or even longer. Some argue that if humanity had never existed, the panda would still go extinct in the very near future. It's undeniable that they are slow to adapt, and that their very specific niche puts them at a disadvantage if any single thing in that environment changes. But humans are really, really good at changing the environment. So even if pandas have been declining without humans, humans have undoubtedly made it worse. Panda population decline accelerated rapidly in the 1700s, when agriculture and human civilization expanded rapidly in central China. And
Panda habitat versus human population. 1825 intersected. Oh, those are the two cultures, the human population. Panda keeps going down, 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 down. It was already going down. Yeah.
And ever since then, panda habitat has been wildly fragmented. Dams, roads, and railways divide panda habitats, making it even more difficult for them to find each other to mate, and reducing the amount of bamboo forests needed for them to get enough food. This, along with poaching, absolutely slashed panda numbers. Today, only around 1,800 pandas are left in the wild. Regardless, if we don't intervene, pandas would absolutely go extinct.
You think humans should intervene or let the panda go the way of the dodo? Let nature take its course? What do you think, chat? Let me know.
Captive breeding programs have saved pandas from the brink of oblivion, and now humans are working to create corridors between forest reserves to link up wild pandas once again. Do we as humans spend a ridiculous amount of money trying to keep an animal that seems to want to go extinct alive? Yes. But is it maybe our responsibility to try? Also, yes. Evolution did them dirty, but so did we. Sometimes we just have to.
Yeah, that's a source of national pride for China. So it's in their interest, the government, to keep them active and alive.
Take care of the idiots amongst us. My favorite part of studying biology is looking at these evolutionary questions. Who did we? Sometimes we just have to take care of the idiots amongst us.
Yeah.
My favorite part of
Do
studying.
you believe that? Sometimes, chat, sometimes we need to just take care of the idiots among us.
Biology is looking at these evolutionary questions. The big causes and effects that shape every animal on Earth. How competitive pressure and genetic mutations led to the supremely weird bamboo diet for pandas. How a drying climate caused ants to become fungus farmers. How becoming upright animals allowed us to become extremely smart animals. The path to higher intelligence in humans is unlike.
Yeah, definitely sometimes. I agree on that. You have to take care of sometimes the ignorant, definitely the youth, right? The young ones who don't know better. Some people with mental issues and whatnot. Good to look out for them. And even some people that are off their path, adults that are capable, they need a little help, right? But I wouldn't suggest doing it so much that you burn yourself out and don't take care of yourself. Because how are you going to help others if you don't take care of yourself? Maybe it can be done at the same time, just like you can have two thoughts in your mind at the same time, as long as they're related. Yeah. Yeah, look what they says. Yes, take care of me, please. Okay, look, we'll get you some bamboo. What else can we get you? Get you a nice backyard. Because if you take that bamboo, if you don't die from it, you're going to be shitting at least 30 to 40 times a day. Comment from Alex. And sometimes we need a firing squad. Yeah, like we talked about. Yeah. Sometimes we need a firing squad. Like take out those killer pedophiles. Right? Fuck it. We'll say it. It's the right thing to do. YouTube won't let me type that. I'll say it for you. Pop them off, right? With a rifle to the dome.
Like anything else in the animal kingdom. And it's something I've explored in depth in a 5-part Nebula original miniseries called Becoming Human.
Okay.
In this series, I explore the major steps in human evolution, from toolmaking to hunting to long-distance running to language to the birth of consciousness as we know it. Nebula is the streaming platform we built for exactly this reason. To create original content that takes a little longer, has a higher production value, and explores areas that we want to take a deep dive into, things that don't always work on YouTube. And right now, for the holiday period, we're offering gift cards to Nebula for you to give to your
Nebula.
friends or family members.
Okay, we get that straight. I gotta get this next thing up.
This is a great last-minute gift idea, and one that doesn't add to the pile of stuff that Christmas so often brings. It's a totally digital, instant gift that will give your friends and family so much original content without having to worry about yet another subscription service. 1 year subscription is only $36. Or to give your friend or family member access to everything Nebula will ever have to offer, you can gift a lifetime subscription for
Inbreds.
Okay, maybe this is the closest thing we have to an American panda bear. The Appalachian hillbilly. Okay. Are they disappearing just like the panda? Maybe we can see some correspondence on that. Okay. I actually went to Arkansas Diner, which is one of my favorite restaurants in Taiwan, by the great chef there who's from Arkansas, who's an expat here. I had what do they call it, a hillbilly cheesesteak. That was good. Super good. So let's see if there's any correspondence between the Appalachian disappearance of hillbillies and the great pandas. Let's check it out. Yeah, Steven, take him out. Take that motherfucker out. Panda bear, huh? So let's see.
Hillbillies, inbreds, drugs, poverty. Appalachia is the hillbillies, inbreds, drugs, poverty. Appalachia is the media's favorite punching bag. But is any of that real? To find out, we went deep into the mountains of Georgia.
You can't run us out, you can't stomp us out.
Our destination was Rabun
He's like a panda.
County, where Deliverance, the movie that made Appalachia the villain, was shot. Deliverance's story of Appalachian inbreds terrorizing a group of city folk has shaped America's perception of the region for decades. We wanted to know what was truth and what was fiction.
A lot of the locals do not like the movie just because of the way it
She looks like a panda too.
portrayed us.
The trip started in
hairless
Atlanta.
panda.
Progressive, modern, urban. But just a couple of hours north, things looked completely different. The city, gone. Replaced by the country and the hills. We were headed as deep into the mountains as we could go. On the way there, though, we
I
stopped
get
to
it.
talk to people
I get it. A clan, a panda and a clan, the bear. Yes, way of the clan the bear. Good one, Alex.
about the area.
Are hillbillies still a thing?
My neighbors would consider hillbillies, I guess, because they backwoods country and ain't got no sense.
The first thing we learned was that this was a
Wow, look at that carving.
deeply conservative region.
When somebody starts talking about this transgender junk and killing babies and all this kind of stuff, there ain't no way I'd vote for him.
You hear that, Alex? Started talking about that transgender junk, and what else did he say? Killing babies. There you go. Amen, huh, sister?
People here are quick to remind you, Appalachia isn't just the country. It's something else entirely. A different culture, a different pace, a different history. Yet, like the country, Appalachia loves Donald Trump, its Bibles, and its barbecue. Our destination was in the mountains, but we stopped on the way to hear stories like Christian's, a Marine Corps veteran turned beekeeper who waved us down on the roadside to ask if
Beekeeper. I wonder if he's even from there.
we needed help. That's Appalachia, a place where strangers don't stay strangers for long.
Where are you from?
My grandma literally lived like right where that light pole is. If you turn right there.
So what's the deal around
He's
here?
from there, huh?
What's it like?
I mean, crap. There's not a whole lot to do unless you're into nature. The difference between like hillbillies and rednecks. Redneck is gonna be like your dipper, probably a loud gay truck. The real hillbilly, like a real bad one. I mean, those are the rebel flag, racist usually. They'll fight tooth and nail to say that's not what that flag means.
Still see that around?
You would think they would just own it, huh? Well, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Like, there's Chuck. He waves the rebel flag on his avatar. A couple other people. Even Kanye West had clothes with the Confederate flag, which some decoders said it's actually a Moorish flag. Comes from a Moorish flag. One of the greatest shows I used to watch as a kid was called The Dukes of Hazzard, and their car was literally called the General Lee, and it had the Confederate on it. Yeah. What's going on, Ozzy? Good to see you, sis. I'm smiling. Alex with the comment goes with what we were talking about. I may not agree with you, but you're not wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it's very open minded. I like that. Just because we don't agree with you doesn't mean we think that you're wrong. We might be wrong. You were talking about, we had this great discussion, Alex and I, about tiger moms and versus, well, it was more about education in Taiwan, Western education versus Eastern education, and how the parent style in the East is more, we're generalizing here, is more, children are to be seen, not heard. Do as you're told, concentrate on your studies. Whereas sometimes in the U.S., it's more about like, we want to protect our child and by kind of like, sometimes babying them. I want to think of a better word, but I don't mean in a bad way, I guess. Overly being affectionate, right? And seeing more of a holistic approach to education rather than just study, study, study. Whereas in the Asia, they're trying to turn out engineers and lawyers and doctors. So they're like, crack the books, even after school, go to another school on the weekend, go to another school. So I mean but Alex was saying like yesterday, like now, like, who's to say that we're the ones wrong in the West and they're right, right? Or I'll say you, or it's, we both can learn from each other. But the point is to be literally really be open minded, not just say it, practice it. Be mindful of it.
Dude, they have a store next to Walmart. It's literally a Rebel store.
Where's that?
Rebel
You might
beer.
want to go.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Yeah, that's some good shit. You'll be like, oh. I mean, there's going to be, they're still fighting the good fight. They think the South will rise again or something, dude. I don't know.
Forget the Confederacy. Tradition.
The South will rise again. Yeah. Was it ever down? Well, I guess it was. Technically, they lost that war. You're driving. Don't worry. There'll always be plenty of times where we can chat online, offline. You said, yet Asians don't have mental health issues like we do. Yeah, we don't see too many Asians in America, but also even here, hitting up the psychiatric health hospital or psychology counseling sessions. And so maybe that parenting is right because it ain't messing them up from what I see. What I see though in other ways, I was mentioning like family members, close family members, their mental health issues came out in other ways of maybe of being overburdened by having to overperform in terms of academically. And they literally, I don't even think they even got help, but just went into this dark period of introspective and depression and whatnot. Yeah. Alex was in the comments. So who's to say that they're wrong by being so strict? Nah, I don't think so. I think that's a good thing. My wife is pretty strict with my son, even though she's raised in the West. Genetically, she has that Asian blood, Taiwanese blood, where she's really strict on my son. Because in first grade, they take that shit seriously. They have tests already on Chinese like every week. They had midterms and whatnot. And sometimes he's doing his homework till late at night, man. And when he starts early, I know he likes to take his time, but it's crazy. So she cracks the whip on him. But with that said, we still have a holistic educational curriculum for him that we have, where he's in judo, he's in, he does art. We let him play the video games when we monitor it. So yeah, it's interesting times we're living in. Crazy Mama, that's a good combo we had. Yeah, that was. Oh yeah, you were there too. Yeah, and Jeremy and Crazy Mama. It was a very good combo. Very good combo. Yeah. I heard some before you fall asleep. We were in your dreams, Mama. Yeah. What a way to go drift off to sleep listening to Alex and I conversate on interesting topics like that. Yeah. Yeah, Crazy Mama, you were stalking us. Yeah. She's monitoring us. That's what my friend Justin says. Monitoring us. So is the South gonna fall off? Did it fall off? Is it on its way back? This looks like a little fun antique flea market vibe right here.
Tradition is alive here in many ways. Many towns have markets like this where people from the mountains come to trade stories, sell what they've made, and share
Oh hell yeah! That assault rifle right there.
a little of what they know. This and other traditions
Probably get some really good prices on it.
remain more intact in Appalachia than just about anywhere else in the country.
I was raised in the Tennessee mountains.
My uncle has that hat, Vietnam hat. Rest in peace, Tom.
And when I moved up here, my wife's parents, they lived up here.
Where you were raised, were there paved roads, electricity?
No, I thought we were rich because we had a two-seater outhouse. Past Atlanta, then you're in the South. But up here, no.
How's that different?
The people, their attitudes and stuff, and you can tell by the way they actually act. Like you get down into Atlanta, everybody thinks they're shit. The people.
I'm trying to see what they're selling. What he's selling.
No, I thought we were rich because we had a two-seater outhouse.
Two-seater outhouse, nice.
Past
A love seat. Lifetime member of Vietnam. Hunters Club.
Atlanta, then you're
Yeah, my uncle always had that. They won't forget the POWs.
in the South.
Is that a bong or something? Right there, on the right.
But up here, no.
How's that different?
Oh, cool, you're home, yeah.
People,
Come
their
up.
attitudes and stuff, and you can tell by the way they actually act. Like you get down into Atlanta, everybody thinks their shit don't stink, you know. And me, I don't care. I've had people in Atlanta try to hijack me on my other truck, and I carried a 45 right on my damn seat. One black guy came and said, "Get out of the truck, we're taking it."
One
And I
black
just took
guy?
my pistol, stuck it up the window. I said, "Well, which one of you down? There's one to die first."
What do you think? What damn you damn N-words? You probably did say that.
So stuck it up the window. I said, "Well, which one of you down? There's one to die first. Because I'll leave your ass laying in the road driveway. I'll go home, smash the barrel on the gun, put a brand new barrel in, and they can't tie me to shit."
You carry right
Damn. He's being straight up about it. I had a friend in Atlanta, Shaman Ali. Yeah, somebody's black man. Somebody tried to steal his ride, and he ended up pulling out on him, and then blew the dude away. Self-defense. Yeah. Yeah. He actually did it, huh? Hey, what's going on, Alexandra?
What's up? How
Good
are
to
you?
see you. Pretty good, pretty good. Did you hear that man? What he said?
He said
Right now?
injure. He said,
Yeah, he said injure. Yeah, he said, "How many of y'all injures want to die?" I'll leave you right there. Yeah, I mean, I can understand why he's angry. Some dude trying to steal his car. You know, one of those things. Yeah.
yes,
What do you
it's
think
just how
about
people
that?
are raised.
Right.
I mean, I don't like hearing it, but I
Mm,
wish my best friend would come up. I just sent her the link because we have
mm.
conversations about this often. Like, she's actually the one that made me be more understanding of people. Um, like, because when I hear people use the N word or something, I just think, why do you have to say that? Like, really? But then I understand that different people are raised different and raised in different situations. So if, like, let's say you're white, right? And you grew up in a small town and you weren't even necessarily raised to be racist, but let's say you just grew up around like nothing but white people. And then
Uh-huh.
all you see of black people is what the news shows, which is like, riots and them saying F the police, right? And then like burning stuff down. If that's all you've ever seen and you've never actually met a black person, you would think these people are violent and crazy. Like these people are trash. Then you
Yeah.
actually meet one and you're like, wait, you're normal. You don't act like that. And then they're shocked.
Right.
So
And then that guy literally wasn't even on TV. A black dude came up to him and wanted to steal his car. That could be
right,
his one of the few interactions he ever had.
right.
Does it make it right? His words, no, but I do understand where he's coming from. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, like
We
I
don't
said, I don't
co-sign it.
like it, but it's like you never know somebody's experience. If they've only experienced black people who were bad, plus they grew up around people who said black people were bad,
Mm-hmm.
it's normal to them.
It's weird looking at him because my uncle Thomas, Easy, aka Easy, he had that hat, exact hat he's wearing. So I'm looking at him. My uncle had a beard like him, and then he said that shit. I'm like, whoa, okay. We are in the deep south, I guess. But let's see what else he has to say.
Now,
If you're still watching and don't trust corporate media to share the reality of the country,
pulled
hit
out.
that subscribe button. We've got a lot more videos coming from the forgotten corners of America and the world, beginning with Appalachia and then the Rust Belt. There may be no scene more associated with Appalachia than this.
You seen that movie, Deliverance? You heard of
No,
it?
no, these
It's,
people just look like the type of people where like their mom and dad were related.
well, he does. That guy, yeah. I wouldn't doubt it with this person. This is an iconic film, Deliverance, which is about four friends. They go on this like big guys, weekend, go camping and hunting. And I think most of them, some of them are from the north, but a couple of them are from this area in West Virginia. This is where Appalachia is. And they have this hunting trip, and they meet these weird people, right, locals. And then a couple of the guys end up stalking them and trying to kill them, and they end up raping their friend. One of the guys gets raped by a guy. Yeah, it's really graphic. Really
Have you ever
graphic.
seen The Wild Whites of West Virginia?
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite documentaries.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's what I
Boone
think of when I see
County.
them. Yeah,
Yeah, Boone
Boone
County.
County make call. He said Boone County
Yeah.
make call.
Yeah, he shakes the pills. Right.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. I saw actually on my algorithm a couple weeks ago. This one, I guess, a young hillbilly dude has a pretty popular channel, and he was driving to meet up with that guy, Derek, that the Boone County, because he was a younger cat, but he said this guy was my brother's friend in high school, so we're gonna go meet up with them. And they met up with each other. They went, they were in Boone County. So, yeah, that's a good movie, huh?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
wild. I had heard about it for a while, and then I finally watched it one day, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, Jessica White. Yeah, he's wild.
Billy was 15 when he played the banjo boy, but when Hollywood left, Billy stayed. And when Deliverance was
It's the same,
nominated
huh?
for Best Picture, Billy ended up spending years working at a Walmart, unable to afford his medical bills. He still lives nearby, and his relatives run this
Looks like the Arkansas diner I went to the other day.
diner.
Billy's story was Billy didn't get any money from it, or got very little money.
He got very little money, yes. I mean, they portrayed us pretty badly in the movie.
And then people would make jokes about her. You wonder why? But hey, man, this is real America.
She's built like a refrigerator.
A sack of potatoes.
The front of her looks like the back of her.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
odd.
Right. But then you can't tell how old she is really too, huh? In a weird way.
Well, when you have that much fat in your face, I don't think you wrinkle.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah. But she's our local historian at the moment.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the locals do not like the movie just because of the way it portrayed us, so.
We learned that the banjo scene was shot and went to take a look. In 1972, it was a dirt road and wood shack.
Nice house.
So you saw the video, dirt road, hillbilly playing
You buying property here, Alex? Maybe someday.
Would I buy property?
Yeah, it's dirt
No,
cheap,
I'm good.
like a summer house or something.
I wouldn't want to live.
Banjo and everything.
Around them.
Yeah.
thing. This is it right now. Obviously a lot different. Now that being said though, this is still a remote and rugged area. We'll take a walk over here where there's some houses that kind of capture that. There's like a dozen dogs just came running off this property over there, and there's something going on. We're gonna go take a look.
These hillbillies is kind of like the Panda forest, right? Look at this shit.
With the bamboo?
There's another one, dude.
Yeah, it's a forest. It's a bit of a stretch, but
This is just common white trash.
Yeah.
Oh,
A house up, we met this girl.
What's up? Hey,
Who they be?
what you guys got?
12.
12?
wow.
Yeah, we got more up at the house.
Oh, she looked like she can be on Haight Ashbury in San Francisco or something. Yeah. They don't like her neighbor. I mean, I don't think the neighbors like her. What do you think?
Because she got the rainbow?
Yeah, and the pink hair.
Oh, I didn't even notice the pink hair.
She told us that if we really wanted to understand Appalachia, we needed to go deeper. But she warned us, be careful. Moments before we had talked to her, her neighbor came down with a gun and had threatened to shoot all of her dogs.
There's some crazy people on this road, just letting y'all know.
Are there?
Don't trust him. He just threatened to shoot my dogs because his dogs ran after my dogs.
Most people around here have guns.
He had one in his hand just a couple minutes ago.
The guy that came running down here yelling.
Yeah, I was yelling at
The full story is, though, she introduced his grandson to Oxycontin. That's why he doesn't like.
How do you know
never
this?
know.
Is this from the movie? Or
No,
you've
no,
already
no.
seen it?
No, I was just making up some shit right there.
Oh. I feel like I know she stinks because when you have that many dogs and they're just running loose like that, like they probably poop all over the house.
Yeah, like they're the 12 of those dogs. Their poop is the equivalent of one male panda in a day.
Yeah.
The poop.
Yeah.
She has to. Yeah.
I just think
A
these
lot of
people are
dogs.
like the trashiest people. Like you could just everything about them.
Yeah, which is interesting. I don't know if you heard Thomas Sowell, the black historian economist
Thomas Sowell?
professor. Yeah, Sowell. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
you heard
heard
of
of
him?
him.
Have you heard his theories about where the quote unquote nigga mentality came from?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He traces it back to Scotland and northern England when those people migrated to the southern part of America, and anywhere from the ways they worship, like how they have a more relaxed. Those people, they have a more relaxed way of going to church back in the day, where they would focus more on the picnic after and barbecue after than the actual service. Whereas their German counterparts, they were more like the Quakers and the Amish people were very strict in their Christianity, and they were saying that like a lot of the languages even that was considered like slang, like Southern slang, and it came from those Northern Englanders and Scottish people, and the black folks picked up on it when they moved to the urban areas in the North and whatnot, and so much so that no matter where you live in America, like quote unquote Ebonics, black slang, it does have a Southern twang to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't care if you're from the North, even people like my best friends in Cali, like some people used to think that they're from the South the way they talk, you know?
Right, like y'all, nim.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's just certain things that we say. It does make sense.
Yeah.
at him back because he threatened to shoot my dogs. Which he's already shot one of my dogs. This one, he shot it with something and it was right beside her heart.
You shot that little dog right there.
Yeah, this
What the?
and she's my baby, for sure. And we've had problems with him. He's stolen stuff from us before. My dad doesn't like him. My dad wants him off this mountain, but there's a tin out. When the cops come up here, he'll go out there and stay for a couple days. And there's guns up in there because I walked up there one time.
What's it like around here now?
Full of druggy people, for sure. Everyone that lives on this road is druggy people.
What kind of drugs?
Mainly fentanyl.
Really?
Wow.
I just died from fentanyl. Banner, come here. Good boy.
So we got back in the car.
I don't know how it is in America now, but it's been a minute since I've been there. Is that still literally a big thing that you see, fentanyl?
I mean, I don't know anybody who does it, but I don't really hang out with many people. I have very few people I mess with, but I do think that would be popular in an area like that. That's another reason I would never want to live there, even if it's cheap, because you know you hear about these small towns, and all there is to do is like do
Right.
drugs, get drunk, or have sex. That's why these people have a bunch of kids and they'll have drug problems because there's nothing to do.
Yeah, I've heard even the same thing about even the beautiful paradise Hawaii for locals. A lot of them get into crystal meth and whatnot.
Meth is really bad in
because
my area.
yeah, oh yeah,
I've never
I
tried it because
guess
I see what it does to people, and I've heard people say, you try it once and you're hooked. So I've never tried it.
yeah. I mean, I've tried it before, and I can see why people get hooked on it before, because it's like it makes you feel like Superman for a minute, it's cheap and all that shit, but it's it's horrible. Luckily, I didn't fuck around
Yeah,
with that shit much,
it
but
scares me.
yeah, it's bad. Yeah, this is interesting. Right here.
Car, and we started driving
Oh yeah,
deeper into
I'll
the
say
mountains.
this too. One reason, really, that I realistically probably wouldn't live in a place like this is not just because of me. Because if it was just me, sometimes you can kind of be like that panda, solitude, be by yourself. But if you have children, he or she's gonna have to hang out with that peer group of that girl and the people that she mentioned. That live on the street.
Hmm.
That's not fair to the kids. Your kids to put them in
Exactly.
that
And also
situation.
that's their formative years. So if you've grown
Right.
up knowing a better life, but then you live out there, you can be on your own. But when your kids are growing up, if that's all they see, they're
Yeah.
gonna think that's normal to where even if you move out of there, that's still the normal they grew up with. They'll be fucked up
Right.
for life. They'll think this is normal to, be all dirty and white trash and have a bunch of dogs and just be doing drugs. They'll think this is normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like when I moved to the hood, it wasn't until I was in my 30, like 30 or whatever. I mean, I never lived in I was never super rich or anything, but and that's why it was a shock to me. I was like, "Fuck, man, this shit's fucked up. I'm trying to get out of here. This is temporary
Right.
shit, type of shit." Whereas if you're growing up with it, that's all you know.
And
In
people think it's
search
normal.
of the mythical hillbilly.
Yeah. Beautiful landscape.
After a few hours of driving through the remote beauty of Georgian Appalachia, we spotted this man, Don, off a gravel road. We were in the
He's a panda.
middle of nowhere, deep in
It's
the
a
mountains.
Klanda.
If anyone was a
Calanda, that's
hillbilly,
it. Yeah, Alex coined that. Calanda
He's a
with the
Klanda bear.
rebel, yeah, rebel. Old
he would
glory.
be it.
We can all our food. We grow our food in our garden.
Okay.
My wife cans it. We're true blue-blooded Americans. What would happen if all the whites and all the blacks got
Oh, shit.
along great all the time? What would it be?
California.
Or everyone would be mixed race.
Yeah, pretty much. A bunch of Obamas.
Yeah, it's beautiful up here.
Come on, these people aren't that bad. They're not all Obamas. Jeez.
No, yeah. The way they edited that, I want to hear what he had to say. Do you think he agrees with that shit or what?
He
That's
was
what he
either going to
wants?
say people would get along or he was going to say there would be a mixed race because a lot of these people, especially like in West Virginia and these Klan members, their fear is that, if blacks and whites are integrated, then eventually they'll all breed and there will be no white race or no black race. It'll all just be
Beige.
everything will be watered down, which I mean, I get it because I like there being black people and white people. I don't want everyone to be mixed, just my kids.
Yeah. So they can stand out. I understand. I would think too, like eventually over years that because you're not gonna because we are talking about dominant recessive genes, the quote unquote black genes, the melanated genes are gonna come back as supreme again if people do keep mixing.
Hmm.
Because it may be beige people, mixed people for a minute, but after a while, it's just gonna be like I know I'm talking probably about like millions of years or whatever. It's gonna go
But those
back to
dark
like
genes will
a black.
overpower.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
You
that's kind of sad because, like, there should be blue eyes. There should be, like, green eyes. Like, what if everybody just had brown eyes? Like, that would be so
be
boring.
boring. Yeah, yeah. With this guy, I'm sure in these places though too, there are mixed people. There has to be. I've seen stories before. Their stories are probably interesting too. What they had to get, we know what they went through and whatnot.
I bet it was
Because they're,
hard for them because this is one of those areas where I think a lot of people are racist.
yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
raise my mixed kids out there.
nah. But here's the thing too, like, there could be like super racist people, but for whatever reason, their granddaughter or son or had a mixed race kids, and those racist people ended up changing heart,
Right. They still love them because
because of
that's
that.
family. But
Exactly.
I think in situations like this, a lot of these people will have like it'll be a grandchild that'll have a mixed race, great
Hmm.
grandchild, and they do it because they grew up with these racist grandparents, these racist parents, and they just want to
Right.
go against them because they just hate how they are.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's definitely a pushback.
Hmm.
Definitely.
How long you live around here?
35 years. When I come here, it was
But that's probably the evolutionary goal on a metaphysical level. Is that's what those kids were here to do? Is to show those people to get with the program.
Yeah.
Get the family.
dirt road. I wanted to land. I was a trucker.
You need a place to store your trucks.
Well, that and work on this reason I got a big shop and everything. 5 I keep up.
What's your favorite?
That there's my baby, but the one I drive the best. You want to see my favorite?
Absolutely.
Come on in here.
Thank you.
But this is my little pride and joy right here. This is a 1941 military Cadillac. 95% rust free. Open the door and look in there.
Wow.
2000, I say, or before this little before they paved the roads.
You have electricity out here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I got a generator too.
Okay.
We country folk survive.
City folk know that city folk don't know.
Well, nature.
He just quoted a Hank Williams Jr. song, "Country Folks
And a country
Will
boy
Survive."
can survive.
Survive.
Yep.
If you notice in that song, he mentions Northern California because at one time, Northern California was very country and very conservative. Up
I've never
until
actually
Silicon
heard the whole
Valley started.
song. I've just heard a country boy can survive. But I've
Yeah,
never.
I was raised in that music. My mom used to play all the outlaw country growing up, among other things, but mostly country music.
Is it? I noticed you call yourself
People-
a Black Are you mixed?
Yeah, my mom. Well, my dad's from Africa. He's from Mali,
Okay.
and then my mom is Mexican and mostly Spanish from Spain, but
Mm.
Mexican. And then her dad was like Scotch Irish, and yeah. So like we're mixed. I just say Blaxican because
And she listened to a lot of country.
oh yeah, because she listened to country music and folk music. She loved country music.
It's weird to imagine
Because-
like a Spanish person listening to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because in the 80s, in the early 80s, that was the heyday of this, what they call outlaw country, with like Hank Williams Jr., Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard,
David
I don't
Allen
know,
Poe.
Johnny Cash. Yeah, like that music is fucking fire. Like,
I have a song. Maybe you could play it after you watch this. I have a song. If you listen to it, I guarantee you it'll crack you up. It's called "Who Put the Dick on the Snowman." I believe it's by
Okay.
David Allen Poe. You're gonna have to listen to that.
okay, I put that on my queue.
Okay.
Is he a country singer?
Yeah.
So he's probably new country to me.
No.
Country, yeah.
Well, it's old. I mean, I remember hearing
It's
this song
old.
as a child. I heard somebody playing it, and one day, I don't even know. I was in a Discord call, and it just popped in my head, and I started singing it, and then I looked it up, and I was like, "This isn't a figment of my imagination. This is a real song. It was on YouTube."
Oh
But
man,
yeah, it's
it's
great.
like a parody song. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
very funny. Yeah,
Okay.
you'll like it.
We'll check it out. Yeah. In that case, I got to give you one. You got to listen to some of this country I send you.
Okay.
Because
I do
country
listen to
music
country.
it's good.
I listen
What's
to
that?
country. I listen to
Yeah.
country.
Okay, that's good. That's a good thing. Because some of the narratives are ridiculous in those songs.
In the city, have no idea about this. This is nature. I mean, just like the Indians, this is all Cherokee land. All of this is Cherokee. You can dig up Cherokee stuff all over here. Arrows,
But you can't find any Cherokee because they're all dead or relocated.
Right.
everything. This was all Cherokee land.
No, according to what do they call the Ottos? Those are black people, right?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
One time. Until the whites took it.
Oh, the whites took
did a
it.
very bad injustice. I mean, I'm a white person,
Well.
but the government did a very bad injustice to the Indian. We can our food. We can all our food. We grow our food in our garden.
That's
My wife
good.
cans it. She's no
You got to ask him a question what he thinks about black people. He has to ask that if he's talking about Indians like that.
country girl from Franklin, North Carolina, 20 miles up the road. You know, and the mountain people are total different. I know some people call them hillbillies, but they're not hillbillies. I mean, hillbillies live further away up in the woods, but don't get around nobody. The mountain people, they know you, they do anything for you. I got great neighbors.
Okay.
I mean, it ain't the almighty dollar. It's being neighborly. You know what I mean? Neighborly. We all try to help each other. We all try to look out for each other. You know, I mean, we look out for the rich people over here.
So what's a hillbilly compared to a mountain person?
They usually just stay to their family. You know what I mean? They don't go in town much and stuff, you know. But, you know, I mean, they're good people.
The married sister?
I knew one that lived down the road before I even moved here when my sister lived there. He used to get a jug of moonshine, and when he got in trouble with his wife, he'd get on the moonshine, a jug of moonshine, get on his mule, and a sleeping bag and his shotgun, he'd go up in the hills. He'd go in the hills for a week.
He'd go sleep with his sister.
Yeah.
And he'd go sleep with he'd get on that moonshine, end up sleeping with his sister, and she'd come up pregnant.
I hope
That's
not.
when we got one-eyed Joe. He lives down the street. He only got one eye. He's a birth defect from that incest, but you know.
Like that, huh? Like
but
that,
no,
huh?
we don't judge,
Yeah. Yeah, with me, this shit's funny. But for me, like, I never been to the Appalachian Mountains, but I know those type of people, man. In my family, I've been around so many different types of people. My grandpa used to wear a hat, or was it? Yeah, a hat that said something about being a redneck, bro. And then like I know Cajun people who are call themselves hillbilly rednecks from Louisiana, and I get it. These people, it's a bit much, but I don't know, bro. Maybe it's because I'm optimistic about shit. My thing is like, if people get to know you, they may think one thing or whatever. I kind of give him the benefit of the doubt, bro. Like this guy to me, at this point, he don't seem that bad.
He doesn't.
You know?
He actually seems quite accepting. He seems like normal for his area. Like, it reminds me. There's a YouTuber. Well, I used to watch. I don't really watch him. Soft White Underbelly, and he
I know him.
interviewed the Whitakers.
He gave me a strike before.
Yeah, I would imagine because that's just he's a liberal.
Yeah.
But he interviewed this family, the Whitakers, and they're
I know
in the
them.
Appalachian
They're inbred.
Yeah, they're very inbred. So that's what I think of.
Yeah.
I think of that and the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia when I think of there. So
yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name's from? Tommy Illuminati's from West Virginia. Like there's quite a few people I know from West Virginia.
Have I seen
All kinds.
him? I think I've seen him.
Yeah. Yeah. But not a friend to the channel. But not anymore anyway. But he likes to use the N-word a lot. We'll just say that.
Oh yeah, I
Like
definitely
that.
wouldn't like him then.
Yeah.
And trouble. Me, I'm a history buff. I love history. One day we'll all be history.
Well, I got a question about history.
Yeah.
So I know you got this flag on the front of your car here. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What's that?
We're
symbolize
Southern
to you?
heritage. It's our heritage. It's not racism. You know, everybody says, "Oh, you see a rebel flag? That's racism."
Well, yeah, some people do use it for that. Let's keep it 100, bruh. There are, maybe you don't use it say it like that, but there's definitely people that I've seen like fucking neo-Nazi marching where they have that flag.
Yeah, I think the majority of people who wave Dixie, it's about racism, but then they use it as an excuse, like, "Oh no, it's heritage." But then you ask them, like, how is that your heritage? And they can't give you an answer, and that's when like, no, you're flying it for racism. You're just embarrassed to say that. Just say it. But I do think there are some people who wave it, and it does mean something other than racism to them.
For sure. Maybe, yeah, for sure. I believe that too. But to be, upfront, just to be 100, I would think they would need to recognize the fact, like, maybe I'm not trying to be racist or whatever, but part of that culture, like you said, it's our culture, is racism is part of it, man.
Right.
It was part of it, yeah.
You want to see what I got on the back of it?
Absolutely.
Come on the back of it. Just because we're rebels, I mean...
It says Black Lives Matter on the back. That'd be so funny.
You know, there's American flag. You know what I mean?
Okay.
What are you saying?
What they call it? He's a strawberry. He's doing both sides.
you know, having the rebel flag there, it's against the country, it's against the
No, it
US.
isn't.
They lost.
We're Americans too, but it's our heritage, you know. I was born in Chicago, so I'm basically a Yankee, okay? I was born Yankee.
You got 6 weeks of Yankee. And then...
So I got 6 weeks of Yankee, and I was in Florida all my life, until 17 when I joined the military. You know, we serve our country, and just because someone has a rebel flag, that ain't racism. I mean, I'd help anybody. I'd give you my whole shirt off my back if I need to. What would happen if all the whites and all the blacks got along great all the time? What would it be? It'd be harmony, right?
The reporter, he's like, this is a trick question.
I can't wait to see where he goes with it. I want to see if I'm right.
But see, a lot of people push it back.
There was a but. Okay, people push it
back and forth. And I say the politicians do that. What's wrong with this country is they turn their face on God. And if you turn your face on God, he'll turn your face on you. I don't know you from Adam's house, cat. I don't even know your name. But I'm talking to you.
Yeah. He did that. That's just kind of like backhand, like, bro, you're supposed to introduce yourself like a fucking respectful human. You coming on my property? At least say your name.
You know why? Because I'm American and I believe in God.
And you say you got a whole garden up here that you grow everything in?
Yeah. You want to look at it?
Can we?
Shit, yeah. You don't bother me.
Thank you, Tom.
This guy's cool, man. At least from this video.
I just want to know what he's growing to maintain that weight.
Oh, he's not just eating that, Alex. He's eating, Dairy Queen and.
So we have our chickens. This is my worm bed for fishing. We grow our own worms. This
you got
is
a handicap plate on license
telephone poles?
I put them all together, put them in the ground. They're in the ground 4 feet.
How many dogs you got? 6. So what are you
6
growing
dogs.
here?
We grow everything.
I got 3.
Raspberries. Look at the raspberries. These are wild raspberries out of the mountains. My wife and I went all around the mountains picking them out wild. Okay. And they get as big as your finger.
Wow.
So we grow potatoes, tomatoes, carrots. You just pull carrots out, made the homemade potato soup the other day.
Wow.
Sounds good.
We till the garden and everything. We use the chicken fertilizer, the chicken poop, put it in the garden. There's worms in there 6 inches long, buddy. They're like snakes, night crawlers and stuff. Look at that potato growing. That's a potato we threw in there growing.
What the?
No, that's cabbage. That's cabbage. This is a Harley shed. This is my Harley shed. This is what my Harley says. Tons of fishing poles, anything. People
got everything you need.
You got too much. It's that cool when it's 100 degrees.
I mean, it's like crisp.
Yeah, look how clear the water. 478 feet deep. Never find no better water. My wife lived up here all her life. She said never. Yeah, look at.
That kid didn't even drink this shit. You see that?
Look how clear the water.
He's still there. He's still there.
Yeah, so
478 feet deep.
Watch this. He didn't even drink it. This guy. Watch.
Never find no better water. My wife lived up here all her life. She said never seen no better water. My father was born in 1903. I was born in 1959. He was 50.
Hey, that's the year my mama was born. Rest in peace, Anita Cuevas. 1959, year of the pig.
6 years old. And I asked him when he was 80 years old.
He's year of the pig, this guy. Literally. Nice.
I asked him. I said, Dad, I says, you was born in 103. I said, you've seen from horse and buggy, the automobile, the planes, to rockets. Mm-hmm. I said, what do you think? He says, son, he said, I was a kid yesterday. You flip your fingers. That's how fast your life goes by.
It's true.
I'm going to ask both of you what the answer of this is. What is the smallest thing in the world that makes the biggest difference? The smallest thing.
Alex, what is it?
Kindness.
Kindness, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Are you under the blanket? It
Or
sounds
love.
like
The blanket's on, but no, I'm not under it.
Okay.
Love? Is love or kindness?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Love, helping somebody. You know? Okay. Let's see.
In the whole, it don't matter, whatever you think, the smallest thing. You tell me what you think. What the smallest thing in the world makes the biggest difference?
A handshake.
What about you?
I was thinking an air molecule keeps us alive.
No, sir.
Scientist over here.
Attitude.
Attitude, okay.
Your attitude is I mean, my father was 80 years old. He died at 81.
Redneck different.
Just
attitude. It sounded like he likes black people. Now I'm assuming things, but it's the attitude adjustment because you don't want an uppity nigger, around. Attitude, right? It's attitude. That's true. Oh, we say your tone, fam. Like if someone wants to tell you some constructive criticism, but their tone is harsh, that's considered attitude, right?
I think attitude is like what I said, like kindness, just the way you treat people. That makes a big difference. It makes sense.
Yeah, because this guy coming on his property unannounced, he could have been like, "What the fuck you doing here?" With his shotgun and all that shit, send his dog. But and he would be warranted in a way because this is his property, right? But he's but when all actuality, he's just trying to check him out, what's going on, and that's what he's doing right now. But he's doing it in a graceful way.
But he decided to be kind, so yeah, his attitude changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
We're down to earth, but we stand our ground.
Do you consider yourself a redneck?
Yes, sir. I'm a redneck. I tell you, I got a redneck too, buddy. Okay, I'm a redneck, and I just like the old song, "Country people survive." We got a 4-wheel drive and a shotgun. You can't run us out. You can't stomp us out. You ain't gonna stomp us out.
Country boy will survive. You can't run us down. You can't make us gun. We're the old boys with shotguns. We say grace. We say ma'am. If you don't give whatever, I'm done.
True blue-blooded Americans. Born and raised here.
Don had seen the mountains change. When he arrived there was no one else.
Dude, me not even living in America anymore makes me proud, even prouder to be American.
You want to come back?
I'm telling you, man. Oh, yeah, definitely. That was always the plan to come back, but still have my house here. I'll go both ways in terms of traveling. And like seasonal type of shit in terms of location. Yeah, but I really appreciate America now that I don't live there, And then fuck what other people say, like, oh, people don't respect America. When Trump's, they go, people don't respect. No, they do. People love America. They're still trying to risking their lives to come here.
I think it's one of those things where, like, a lot of people in America will talk about how bad it is, but they've got to live here their whole life, and they don't realize how bad it is in other places.
Exactly.
And even if it's not so much bad in another place, I just feel like if you think you don't like America,
here,
you should leave, because as soon as you leave, you realize how great America was and how many things you loved about it. And as soon as you realize the things that you love about it and how much you miss it, that's when you know it's not that bad, because you miss it.
Yeah, and I do, and the only reason I haven't come back sooner too is because I'm trying to leave even like 10 times better than I left, and cause kind of like the prodigal son returning. I'll be like, yeah, I spent my time here, I learned stuff, cultivated wealth, knowledge. Now it's time to come back and give back to the country that raised me. It's a great country. There's problems, but I think the good weighs out the bad still.
Now the house across the road from him is worth millions of dollars. Similar developments are cropping up elsewhere, and the city is encroaching.
But the rich people moving in. Everybody from the cities are moving up here.
Yeah, millions of dollars.
You ain't trying to live there? Look at that. That's a beautiful house. Beautiful, man.
I don't know. I like where I live. I mean, I would live anywhere depending on who I'm with.
Right. Yeah.
If my man wanted to live there or my best friend wanted to live there, I'd go live there as long as my people are there.
Right. Yeah, because you can live anywhere when you got your people, man.
Yeah, that's all I really care about.
Yeah.
Similar developments are cropping up elsewhere, and the city is encroaching.
But, the rich people moving in. Everybody from the cities are moving up here. If you look around, you'll see where they're putting houses all over the mountains.
Is it changing it out here for you?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Our taxes went way up because of the mansions and everything. They done sold that place they just sold it 2 or 3 months ago. Over $8 million.
Holy crap. In that place? So $8 million house there? Can you imagine what it's like in your city or where I used to live? probably
Well,
ridiculous.
maybe the price is already going up, so maybe it's not cheap to live there then.
That's
But I
true.
do think that's
Yeah.
fucked up. People coming out there and then raising the price for these people because everybody wants to live there now. Like that's fucked up.
Yeah, and the only way they can get some money off is that they would have to sell their shit, right? And then
Right.
where they gonna go? Where they gonna
And
go?
then all the city people who have moved in, if they start running shit, they're not going to let them sell their shit for a good amount. They're still going to lowball them.
Right. That's probably the reason why I moved from where I moved, Silicon Valley. Man, it's because of all the tech and stuff. All the outsiders came in. Like they bumped up the price for even like moderate housing. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. Look, within you have a question. You said, "Am I year of the ox?" No, I'm year of the snake. Like this year, year of the snake. What do you think about astrology? I was gonna ask you. What's your sign
Um,
and all that?
I don't get really into it, but like when I meet somebody, I do ask them when their birthday is, and I will, if I
Mhm.
don't know what the sign is, I will look up what the sign is and try to find out things about them. My birthday is June 13th, so I am a
A
Gemini.
Gemini. That's right. Yeah.
hmm
That's what I
Yeah, what are
thought you
you?
had
When's your
mentioned that.
birthday?
November 10th. Scorpio.
My man's a Scorpio. He's November 11th. No, he's November 12th.
Oh, cool.
Y'all
I
are
don't. I think we're
y'all are
birthday twins.
very y'all are very controlling and you're sex freaks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's an
Right.
understatement. Yeah.
Insanely obsessed with sex. Like y'all, if you're gonna have sex with somebody, make it a Scorpio.
Yeah. Yeah. Most doubt. No
A
doubt.
Scorpio don't even have to touch you to make you come. They could talk you
Yeah.
through one.
Well, that's the thing about it. The Scorpio, we love the actual act of sex, but even the leading up to it, everything that's leading up to it is part of it too.
hmm
You know,
Y'all know how to create the environment. Yeah.
and to a Gemini, like especially like sex talk and this just the audio component of it, that's a big thing. I would imagine that's a turn on or something that's attractive. Yeah, because it's attractive when you guys do it. That's why I like Geminis in that sense too. You know, the audio part of it, especially.
Yep.
That's why you gotta be careful with that microphone, girl. When you do that the
The
whatever they call
ASMR.
that. Yeah, you gotta be
Oh.
careful with that. Yeah. Yeah, this is the year of the snake. That's right. We already started off good already. Yeah.
I don't
This year of the
remember
goat.
I remember going to like the Chinese restaurant and they had the thing. I don't remember what it was. I think I was a snake.
What year were you born?
89.
Oh, 89.
Yeah, I
Let
could
me
swear I
see.
was a snake.
I think that's Master Creator, my good friend. He from Oakland. He is year 89 too. Let me see. Year of I never met a woman who's year of the snake. Let's see.
Trying to remember looking at the little thing. I could swear it was a snake. I haven't been to a restaurant that had those in
Oh
so
shit,
long.
you are. Yeah, hell yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought
that's why
so.
we vibe. That's why we vibe. And the funny thing is, the snake, if you're corresponding the Chinese astrology with the Western astrology, the snake is very similar to the characteristics of Scorpio. The sexual stuff, the
Hmm.
charming stuff, the knowledge,
I
stuff.
didn't even think about that because when I think of
Yeah.
astrology, I always just think of, the 12 signs. Like I don't
Right,
even
right,
think
right.
of I think, earth, air, fire, water, like those different types of
Mm.
signs. I don't think of the Chinese, but now thinking about it, it does make
It
sense.
corresponds. It definitely
Yeah.
corresponds. Yeah, they're both reptiles, or
You said
kind
you're a
of.
snake too? What year were you born?
77.
Oh, you're
Uh,
old.
older, yeah. Yeah. I'm blessed
You're
to
not
be
that old.
47 years old.
It's not that
This
old.
is it's especially when you plan on living a long time. I have to at least live to be 80 in my 80s at least because it's only fair to my son to do that because I was 40 years old when we had him. So, I'll give him 40 years at least.
I hope we can live a long time.
Yeah, it will be good. Yeah, snake, that's awesome. Dude, that's why snakes they like to you ever seen snakes how they like coil onto each other and stuff? Like
Hmm.
really tight. That's always fun to sleep with somebody like that. It's always fun to
Yeah,
do that.
I'm a snuggler.
Yeah.
I have issues with it
Yeah.
with my son because my son is 14 and I still try to be the big spoon and he's like, I'm not about to let you spoon me. Like I'm 14, I'm not about to let my mom spoon me. And I'm like, it's not weird. He's like, it's weird. And I'm like, but I'm the big spoon. It'd be weird if I was trying to be the little spoon, but I'm the big spoon. And
Yeah,
he's
that
just
would
like,
be
no, I don't want to spoon with you. I don't want to fork with you. I don't want to knife with you. And I'm like, okay.
not even
He's not
spork.
Yeah, I just want to spoon him.
He's one I love. You're like Angelica from is that her name? The
Rugrats?
girl no, not her. No, maybe like that. But I'm thinking of Animaniacs. Remember where she goes, I love you. I love her little animals.
I don't know.
She squeezes them. You never
watched
seen that
Animaniacs.
shit?
Not that I can remember.
Oh shit. Yeah,
I
I
can
gotta
remember
show
like
you.
we're Animaniacs, but I can't actually remember watching it.
That girl, she's like she loves her animals so much. She wants
Yeah,
to
I'm definitely very snuggly.
yeah, anyway.
Yes, sir, right there. 8 million.
The Appalachia Don knows and loves is changing.
Taking us up to a river. He said, you're not going to believe this river. So he wants to show us that. We're following, it's a couple miles to get there.
This is it right here. Let me show you real quick. This Animaniacs. There we go. This is a love bomber right here. She loves her animals.
Here, Squirrely Whirly, look what I have for you.
She has a
Come
nut
on,
from it.
little Squirrely, take the nice peanut. Ooh, now I have a cute little Squirrely Whirly to pet and love and cherish and squeeze.
Oh, I've seen
I'll
her
take you
before.
home and lock you in a nice little cage.
She loves
and
the
never,
animals.
never, ever let you out except to pet you and love you and hug you and squeeze you all up. Won't that be fun?
Dude, that's like me. Like I feel like sometimes people in the past or sometimes I like it's been too much because that's like maybe that's a Scorpio thing too. Where we try to
She's
like
bad though. She's being rough and mean with them.
yeah. Well, my thing was more focusing on like how sometimes. Oh, speaking of Scorpio, we can kind of like or too intense, and some of that will be manifested. And we were trying to like you seriously are just and obsessed or just want to like love bomb them and just literally just squeeze them. You know,
She reminds
type
me of
shit.
something that my son, I heard my son say it because he's a teenage boy. And ever since then, I say it. And he had said, it grips like the retard in class holding the class pet.
Yeah, that's
And
it
it
right there.
does. It grips like the retard in class holding the class pet. But I just realized she grips like, she is that person.
She's that literally manifestation.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that she's wearing a wig. I don't like that. That's not cute. Watch. You see that? Her wig fell off. What the hell is that about? That's not cute.
Oh, come back! No cute little animal wants to be my pet.
And she wonders why.
She has a skull on her bow. I feel like she's bad.
Do you see that?
Yeah, she's
She's
evil.
bad. Yeah, I didn't mean to say you were evil, but
Yeah, she's the autistic kid holding the class pet.
yeah. A lot of times, people who are mentally retarded are very strong too.
Never, ever let you out except to...
The grip strength is impressive.
Yeah, it's grippy.
It's creepy.
This is all national forest, all this. This is unreal, ain't it? Look at this. Look how clear your water is. Drink this water.
Drink
this
it.
Comes off the rock. This is all full fish. But I mean, just to look at all this. I mean, look how clear that water is. That's the reason there's no they won't let no industry in here, thank God. They don't want that water polluted like it is in Atlanta. No chemicals. What do you see here that you don't
I'm retired in there doing a shitload of mushrooms.
see all over the place? Trash.
Yeah.
You see them signs? There's signs all over the road. $1,000 fine. You throw shit out and you get caught and one of these people turn you in, you got a $1,000 ticket.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, it's just
No, look,
so natural.
Clean. This is Persimmon community I live in, and Us, the people, keep it clean. We actually have days that everybody gets out and picks trash up.
This is the reason why when I go back to America, I do want to make the cross-country journey, like an RV or something with my family, and just, just meet different people and shit.
I think one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen is the trees in Arkansas. I'm like obsessed with the trees in Arkansas.
Don told us he may not be
like that, like
around to see what happens.
Tall and skinny like that.
No, it's like you'll just be driving
After
through
hours
Arkansas,
of talking, he casually mentioned that he had cancer
and you see the trees, and they just look like broccoli. It like for miles.
Yeah, we'll check it out real quick in 1 second.
and wasn't sure how long he'll live.
55 years old.
He has cancer. He's 55 years old? Damn.
See what happens
No
next. After hours of talking, he casually mentioned that he had cancer and wasn't sure how long he'll live.
65 years old.
65,
you know. I'm still moving, brother.
Damn, he's 385 pounds and he's walking around like that. That's a lot of stress on the bones.
I'm gonna move. They're gonna have to cut my fingers off to get me, brother. I'm gonna hold on. You ever gonna forget this place?
Never.
I never will.
Never. Can't thank you enough, Don.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
He was at peace with it, he said, because he'll give his land, his little piece of heaven, to his son and be laid to rest in the woods.
I'm passing everything down to my sibling. I mean, not my siblings, but my son. You know, and I told him, I said, if you ever sell a piece of land like this, you would never find it again.
Mm-hmm. Whether alive or dead, Don said, he will be in the mountains.
I wonder if that's
totally digital instant gift that will give your
a reason he's like that too is because he's not originally from there. He said he was born in Chicago. He's from Florida, so he moved there probably in his 20s after the military.
Mm-hmm.
So you said Arkansas trees?
Yeah, the trees in Arkansas.
Let's see. Oh, trees. Mm. Ooh, it's kind of cool. Let's see.
I wonder if anybody else sees him like I see him and has recorded it. What was that up at the top? There was a short, the second one. That looks like somebody driving through where you would see it. No.
No, it's a better. It's a better one. Let's see this one.
No, they're not showing it like how what I'm talking about.
It's pretty magical right there.
No, I'm talking about like from far away. Like you'll be on the highway and you'll just see like miles of trees. It just looks like broccoli going on forever.
Let's see. Driving Arkansas highway. On the highway, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Somebody getting their ass beat. Maybe this could be it right here. Mountain Drive. Let's take a ride. Okay, let's get some more trees. No?
No.
No. Kind of looks like broccoli.
Yeah, this ain't showing what I'm talking about. Like this, they're like right next to you. You can't see how I'm talking about. Type in the trees in Arkansas and see what comes up.
I did. That's what that came up. Trees in Arkansas?
Yeah, like trees in Arkansas.
What's up, Zephyr? Yeah, come see me when I go back to America. I don't live in Mexico though. I have family in Mexico. I'm from California, though. Zephyr. Well, we can meet up in Mexico. Shit, like that movie Dust Till Dawn. Trees. Would you say trees in Arkansas? Okay.
Trees in Arkansas. Yeah. See if I can look them up. No.
Maybe the little. That's an aerial view though. Look, check it out.
Hi, this is Lee and Sarah Medley. Welcome to Each of our tree houses and cabins comes
Like
equipped
that.
with a hot tub,
That's what I'm
an
talking
indoor
about.
and outdoor fireplace.
Look at this.
You'll
This is
be driving and you'll
Hi,
just
this
see
is Lee and
trees for
Sarah Medley.
miles.
Welcome to.
that's a tree house. Look at you can literally. Wow, that's beautiful. That does look like broccoli.
That's what you see when you're driving through Arkansas, just like that. You just
Mm-hmm.
see just trees for miles. It just looks like broccoli.
Yeah.
I love the trees in Arkansas.
There you go.
It's the only place where you see that. It's almost as if like there's no one living there. It's just like trees. It's just a highway and trees.
Mm. This house is nice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you get the view, the tree view, the canopy, as they say, of the
He
forest.
said, "Look up Arkansas broccoli trees."
Who said that? Look within.
Zephyr. But no, it's funny because just how I was saying it, like, oh, the
It
trees in
might be, huh?
Arkansas. And I was like, look it up, trees in Arkansas. And sure enough, this is like exactly what I'm talking about. That's how it looks when you're on the highway. You just see miles of
You
trees.
mean right there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen other places that kind of look like that too, but they might have a distinct look right here.
It's just my thing. It's just beautiful to
Yeah.
me because I mean, where I live, you don't have that. You don't just see miles of trees anywhere.
Even in Kansas City, even the
Yeah.
outskirts. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
I mean,
closest you have to go to get something like this? Is there a forest? Any forest that you know of?
Arkansas.
Well, yeah, because there really ain't no mountains over there, huh?
No.
Yeah.
Everything is built up pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, even the country areas, it's like there's still houses and stuff, and there's nowhere that you can get up and just see them like that.
Mm-hmm. Never sell your land. Yeah.
Can you play music on here?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
You should listen to that Who Put the Dick on the Snowman.
Let me see. Jesus.
So funny.
Who put the dick on the snowman? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And embarrass the family. You'll get it.
Larry the Cable Guy. What?
Do you know what a thimble is?
Yeah.
The thing for sewing? Okay, just making sure.
Oh, wait, hold on.
I'm gonna have this stuck in your head. Yep, that's it.
I think people forget about the true meaning of Christmas. Love, friendship, and spending time with the family. Mama would be inside, fixing turkey and dressing, and me and my brothers used to play outside in the snow for hours, throwing snowballs, and I'll never forget my daddy coming outside and saying, "Hey! Who put the dick on the snowman and embarrassed the family? You could have used a ball bat, a cucumber, or a zucchini, but instead you used a thimble, something you could barely say. Who put the dick on the snowman and made him look like me?" You boys been talking to your mama. I got your Christmas present right here, you little bastard. I'm gonna beat your ass.
I don't know. It was either you or it was either Alex or Locksmith who put the dick on the snowman.
Who put the dick on the snowman and made him look like me? You could have used a ball bat, a cucumber, or a zucchini, but you used a thimble.
Thimble, yeah.
Embarrassing him in front of the fucking neighbors.
Yeah. They couldn't even do that right. Life of a dad.
Now all the neighbors know he got a little dick because when you put the dick on the snowman, you used a fucking thimble.
Well, hopefully it was his. Hopefully it was his. I mean, even though you don't want to be shamed like that, his wife, not his daughter.
He said, "You boys
It
been
gets
talking to
darker.
your mom," as if the mom told the
Yeah.
kids that he had a little dick, so they
Yeah,
would make the
right.
snowman look like him.
Yeah, it probably they don't even they just want to clown their dad. I think no matter if he's hung or not. Yeah, they just want to clown the dad. I mean, yeah, I never heard of that song. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Zephyr said we
Yeah.
do that when it snows. Sometimes we just do a giant snow dick.
With the
I
snow
have little
coming out of
kids
the
for
earth.
neighbors. I couldn't do that. Yeah, it's just a snow dick. It's not a snowman.
Coming out of the earth. The Gaia worship. Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah. What do you got planned for the rest of the night? It's late, huh?
Yeah, it's
No, not really.
9:24. I need to
It's
cook
not
up
that
some
late.
cabbage. I was cutting onions earlier. I didn't cut the cabbage, but I need to, and I need to cook.
Well, you making some corned beef?
No, I'm on a very strict diet. I'm trying to lose weight, so I just eat cabbage and then cottage cheese for protein. Cottage cheese for
Okay.
protein. Mhm.
Cabbage is really good for people who have stomach ulcers or stomach issues. Cabbage
Mhm.
and celery. Yeah. Uh,
I just eat it because it tastes good. It's like so savory, and then it's like no calories.
well, how do you cook it?
Um,
Steam it or something?
no, I start with like a stick of butter and then like two whole onions, and
Hmm.
I cook those for about 5 minutes until they're caramelized, and then I put in like half of one cabbage, so two whole onions to a half a cabbage, and then I just cook it for like 10 minutes. And I put in a bunch of garlic powder, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. That's
That
it.
sounds like when we did make when I would make corned beef and cabbage, except you just didn't make the corned beef. Do the same thing for
Yeah,
the cabbage and yeah.
corned beef is a very fatty meat. It's high in calories, so
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't eat that. But
There's some there's some weird connotation to that. People think it's Ireland, St. Patrick's Day, but the Egyptians had that as a staple on their diet: corned beef and cabbage. I found that out. That was which I always thought that was interesting.
I've heard people say, what is the like? It's not a bratwurst. What is it called? Like Polish sausage?
Sauerkraut.
No,
Oh
I
wait,
do
wait,
love
wait!
that
It
though.
was the sausage.
Like Polish sausage or
Uh huh.
I forgot what it's called. Like kielbasa. They say to eat that
Yeah.
with it, which I'm sure would be good. But those are also like very fatty, very salty meats.
I mean, if you're gonna go there, yeah, it's like how Korean barbecue they eat kimchi, which has a lot of cabbage. It's like
Yeah,
fermented cabbage. Yeah,
I eat sauerkraut all the time too.
yeah. Well, good probiotic, good for your gut.
Just low
Yeah,
calorie stuff, just something to fill you up, but it's low calorie.
yeah. It's not a what do they say, low carb too. Low carb. Yeah,
Yeah, I try to eat high protein, low carb.
yeah. I've done that. I did the keto diet. I did the snake diet. You ever done that? Which is
What
like
is that?
fasting, because
Oh,
snakes they don't eat. They only eat every couple weeks or whatever, or once a week or whatever. And this snake diet was using you drink electrolyte water, right? And then you just fast in between. Uh I don't know. Have you ever fasted before?
no. I
No,
thought
yeah.
fasting was just not eating, but people say it's just eating like once a day, like at the same time.
Well, I mean, there's different fasting, but like to me, fasting is at least a day or whatever. But they're talking about intermediate fasting, which is like just spreading out the time you eat. Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
feel like that's normal eating, like to eat
yeah,
same
but
thing all day.
what the snake diet was doing, like, it's not like this anymore. The way the guy preaches it, teaches it, but dude, we used to do a fast like for 5 days sometimes of just electrolyte water or dry fast. Yeah. The only
Mm,
thing with that, only thing with that is that you can't really work out when you do that. But if you do like what you talked about earlier, intermediate fasting, you can still work out. And if you ever have a bad health problem, fasting does help kind of reset your body.
yeah, I've been doing this cabbage and onions for like a good 2 weeks now. I eat that and then I eat eggs. Like I eat very few things. Like I literally eat like eggs with cheese and then I'll have like sometimes I'll just have eggs and I just season it with pepper. And then I'll have that with like American singles or with like this Fiesta blend cheese. And then sometimes I'll put it in these. I have these like keto tortillas, so they're like 0 carbs. I'll put it in one of those and
Yeah,
then have the salsa. So it'll be like a
that
breakfast
sounds good.
burrito or just eggs. And then, yeah, the cabbage and cottage cheese.
That sounds good. Yeah.
It's pretty much all I
No,
eat.
even yeah, keep it simple. You're kind of like a panda, huh? You have a very limited diet. So you don't have
Yeah.
cyanide in it. No
I don't
cyanide
cook
in
40 times a day either. I wish I did. I wish I could just like take out all the fat I have.
it.
It'd be great.
It'll happen. Did you do you ever like exercise? Go out and like
I
walk
do,
or
but no, I have a gym membership, but I haven't worked out in probably a month because it's been so cold here. Like it's been like in the negatives. We keep having
Mm,
cold winter warnings, whatever.
yeah.
Cold weather
That's
warnings.
yeah, I could see that'd be a bitch to go out when it's like freezing and stuff.
But
But
once it
that's the thing.
warms up, I'm sure I'll be back in the gym.
Yeah, strength training is great, I think, for men especially, but women as well. It's good to be strong, and it definitely helps with losing weight. Yeah,
Yeah, I do more weights than I do cardio.
that's better. I think that's even better.
Yeah, because
Cardio
the
is
more
great
muscle you
though.
have, the higher your metabolism is.
Yeah, exactly. But steady state cardio, that's good enough. Which is basically just walking or on the bike for a half hour, an hour. Like
Hmm.
that's a really good. If you do that like every day, the pounds will just fall off. And especially if you eat the way you're eating, just add the steady state cardio. Make sure you do that at least. Yeah, you're gonna keep doing good. It's all good.
Hopefully, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually gonna probably go to the gym to the dog park right now.
What time is it over
Um,
there?
it's 11:30 a.m. on Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. So you're
on
living in the
Tuesday.
future because it's
Yeah,
Monday here.
that's right. That's why my first video on my other channel was called "Back to the Future"
Mm,
because I'm back. We're talking. I'm getting the party started. Yeah.
nice.
So, Gemini Snake Princess. I appreciate you coming up, Alex. Yeah,
I appreciate you
that was
having
fun.
me.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, we learned a lot about pandas, right? The Tao, the panda, and the American panda, Billy
Hmm.
Bob from the Appalachia. Yeah,
Right. Yep.
yeah,
The Klanda.
yeah.
But he wasn't a
The
Klanda, as it
Klanda,
turned
yeah.
out. I was wrong.
No, the first guy was.
Yeah, but that one
I
wasn't. But all right,
bet
have a
you
good
that
night.
guy's not even that bad. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
will.
it's all right.
Yeah, enjoy your evening. Okay, and we'll talk soon. Hit me
Yeah, you
up in the
too.
Discord. Are you on our Discord?
All right, yeah, cool. Hit me up anytime.
Okay.
I still need to
Peace.
watch that video you sent me. All right, goodbye.
Okay. We that was fun. Yeah, that video was a non-duality video I sent Alex. Yeah. Great conversation, good people. This is why Benjamin, who we're doing this channel for my son. This is why why we have these. We put ourselves out there so we can make great people like that, like Alex and Zephyr's in the chat. Look within. Shadow was in there earlier. Rag, Rag Vision, Crazy Mama. The whole crew. Yeah, Miss Alexander. Yeah, but Alexandra, always a pleasure. Great people. A good example of the Tao of the Panda, right? Which is I'm gonna make a stretch here, which is just basically be in the moment, know what you like, and go after it, but have balance. Okay. And until the coming days, we'll see you next time here on NPC the Game Live. Peace.